How tough are you? Are you afraid of death? Do you know where you're going to go when you die? I've known a few tough blokes over the years, and they have this outward appearance of being tough. They might be martial artists, they might be soldiers, whatever it may be, but are they really tough? And you'll only know, I suppose, when you see them on their on death's door. But you know, if you're a real man of God, you're not afraid of anything, because the Bible says you do not fear anyone but God, who can destroy both spirit and soul and body in hell. See, just because there's Christian men around that aren't built like, you know, Brock Lesnar, or you know, they're not ex-soldiers or martial artists, or you know, whatever it may be, doesn't mean they're not tough. See, toughness is something that comes from within, and it comes from within your heart. So if you really love God and you walk with Jesus, you aren't afraid of death, and that's real toughness, because ultimately the playing field's going to be leveled, and that is when we die. And when we stand before the throne of God, you're going to see plenty of so-called mighty warriors that have lived and died shaking in their boots as they stand before the judgment throne of God, being judged for their life and what they've done. And you'll see plenty of scrawny, skinny little men who love Jesus and always have loved him, being exalted and glorified with him in heaven for truly loving God and not fearing anything but God. So what side are you on, guys? You say you're tough, but are you really tough? Where are you going to be when you die? Where are you going to end up? You know, I've known plenty of tough guys over the years. I've even seen one tough guy in hell. He claimed to come from a pretty heavy background, a pretty bad family. He was a pretty rough individual, but God gave me visions of him in hell, in the first death, the place of the first death, in complete darkness. And I've never seen anybody so afraid in my life. So reality is this: you may be tough now in this realm. You may be a seasoned warrior. You may be an ex-soldier, or you may be a current serving soldier, or special forces, or martial artist, or UFC fighter, whatever it may be, pub brawler. But at the end of the day, whether you and the nerdy bloke beside you are going to face the same judgment. So are you ready for that judgment? Because if you're not walking with Jesus, who was the ultimate true warrior, then you're a gutless coward, and you will be going to hell. See, the torture and pain that Jesus went through is one of the worst forms of death you can die from. You know, Jordan Peterson did a little video on that recently. He said that the crucifixion that Jesus suffered was the worst kind of death and pain that you can pretty much suffer. But not to mention, he took the sins of the whole world. So he had that burden, that pain, that brokenness on him, that he felt and carried to the cross. Now, we've all done wicked things in our lives, and we all have that feeling that you have after you do something really evil, where you know, you might have slept with someone and afterwards you feel terrible for it, or you may have beaten someone and you feel bad about it. You may have stolen something or treated someone badly and you feel bad, right? So take that feeling of badness, or you know, remorse, or whatever you may have had, or that guilt that you had on you at that time, and imagine the whole world, all the times every single person in the history of the world has done that. That's what Jesus carried, and that's what he had on him. He took that to the cross. Not to mention the physical pain, the insight, the understanding of the world around him and what was going on, the understanding of the spiritual realm that he could see and feel around him. He took that on the cross himself, and he died. He took on that burden, he carried it up to that cross, and he died a painful death for you and I, so that we can be forgiven, and that he paid the ultimate price. See, Jesus died for the realm that was around us that we can't see. He lured everybody as the ultimate booby trap to the cross to face judgment before God. See, people that say, he died on the cross, he was gutless, he wasn't a warrior. That's a very short-sighted, stupid man who doesn't understand. See, he was fighting in another realm that you and I can't see. And when you die, you're going to know all about it. So my advice is show some reverence. You might be tough now, but get on your knees behind a closed door, show some fear and reverence to God, ask him to forgive you and reveal himself to you, and he will. If you want to talk to other blokes or get connected with a group, send us an email, admin@ucma.com.au. Check out our website, ucma.com.au. Get some help. Cheers.